Sometimes we get so caught up in our own point of view that we fail to see the common ground we share with others. These days, Oregon faces a number of critical challenges, and we often don't see eye to eye on the best solutions. But what if we zoom out?
And we are live.
We are live.
Yep.
So we are live.
Good evening, and welcome back to Knox Vitalia, where yes, we are live, and they are still alive for now. Because, as with all things, death happens.
Yes.
Ah.
I will be right back. I left my dice in the car. I just reached for my dice and was like, oop.
Well, that was...
How dare you, ill-prepared gamer. Shame on you.
You know, there is the tackle box.
Yeah, there is, but I don't trust your dice when you're gunning for the party. They like you, they live here.
They don't like me, that's why they're in a tackle box.
They know the term don't bite the hand that feeds you or plays you.
Yeah, but that's just it. Those particular dice.
Like to bite the hand?
Yeah, that's why they're over there. Underneath the table in a plastic box. That, and I just really have more dice than I constantly roll. I switch them out occasionally. Like here soon I'm going to switch out to like blues, and I've got some that have little snowflakes in them.
The one thing I still need to get that I don't have for dice is I want to get a liquid core set.
Those are pretty. They don't, it doesn't fuck up how they roll or anything, but they like have swirly liquids inside.
Yeah,
they
shit. Leave the center hollow and they inject a liquid, and it's kind of like, you know those old cheap compasses that you get that would have the ball floating in water? It's kind of like that, and it would have glitter and stuff that swirls around inside it when you roll.
It doesn't mess up how they roll those, so I have no opposition to them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, is that they actually roll pretty well still, so that's what I want to get, is a set of liquid cores.
Your goblin change purse.
Yes.
Are you gonna roll well for me again this week?
No.
Are you gonna use the big dog?
Yeah, I still got the biggest die of them all. The leather one over there.
Yep.
Yep.
It's actually a dice bag. But okay, so announcements. Thank you to Lo-Fi Geek for the lovely break music. Yes, I went with the holiday-ish cheer. But no sound, guys, because let's just be honest about it. Not everybody follows those particular paths. Honestly, I just never really liked the music, or the vocals to Christmas music anyway. Unless it's Trans-Siberian Orchestra, that shit's pretty banging.
Yeah. Like, one of my favorites for Christmas music is August Burns Red version of Carol of the Bells, where it's literally strictly the beat. They have no lyrics to it, but it's heavy metal. And really hard, like, heavy guitar, too.
Oh yeah, overdrive guitar works really well for the Carol of the Bells.
Yeah, it's a real
And
good version.
so, other announcements would be to you.
Thank you as always to Rip Reptiles, a local scaly baby rescue that provides us with our paper and ink and printer services. And to Thomas for doing that.
Yeah, this week we ended up with 10 more character sheets, yay, and a buttload more combat trackers, which will make it easier for me to know what your armor classes are and just get life easier.
Yeah.
Because then I can keep track of that and I can keep the narrative flowing more evenly.
Yep. Speaking of that, other related announcement. Everybody here who plans to be here for the Christmas Eve game needs to drop a level 4 character.
For a one-off?
Yep.
A fantastic one.
Do you think they're going to make you work Christmas?
Level 4.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Which, if you listen to our podcast, iCast Wish,
Want to
you
come
heard
be a
all
nerd
about.
with us on Christmas Eve? There won't be any hoes.
I got nothing better to do.
So that's when we're doing your Christmas game, is Christmas Eve. So we'll have to have
Not that this isn't fun.
So we'll have that, and then what is it before or after that we start the first session of?
We will be pre-recording after New Year's. After New Year's.
I believe the one-off is taking this month's Aylwood slot.
Okay. So we actually have a couple of months to get it done then.
Level 0.
The level 0 character.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a lot coming up. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Seriously, actually looking forward to it. Speaking of guys in there, there's a Pudgeliath.
Pudgy!
Pudgy! That is your phone.
I cannot read it from here.
Nor can I.
I was gonna say I got mine muted so I could pull up the chat and keep it on.
Bip bip.
My phone is over there.
Bloop. Roar! Priorities, Pudgy. Number 1, liquid core dice. Number 2. Says Pudge.
Priorities, Pudgy, and then liquid core dice, yes.
Yes.
So,
The sparkly inclusions.
where did we finish off last?
Well, you all had finished on day 3's travel and were licking your wounds and getting yourselves back up, I believe, to normal. You
Yep.
pushed through to a place that was a safe camp spot and had leveled a group of 12 winged, demonic-looking creatures. But they leave you all quite feeling it for a minute.
Yeah.
More
missed you
bodies
too.
were flung
Oh,
at other
didn't see
bodies.
that.
Guys were hit with other guys.
We miss you too, Pudgy. Can't wait for you to be back. He says he missed us.
Cool, thank you. Misses you too, man. So much.
Just a couple more weeks.
I'm ready for him to come home now, actually.
Yes.
I think he is too.
I think we all are.
And that's me saying we miss you.
Alright, so much in the same manner that mornings have been going, you all get up and moving. Torin has had breakfast made, as has been the routine for this trip, in order to move things along a bit down the road. And you can start seeing what looks like some sort of pointed formation, almost in a patterned manner, starting to dot the horizon, almost like little points sticking up on the horizon line from where you wake up. It's a relatively nice day. So, awake, breakfast, and all of that out of the way. Unless anybody had anything dire they wanted to bring up over breakfast.
I already filled them in from the previous time, so I'm good with what I need.
Yes, you all had also, that's the other thing that had happened, is you had discussed what you might be coming across as you got to where your destination was. So, with that being the case, just so that I don't have to think too damn hard, everybody go ahead and roll initiative so we know who's first in the out of character or out of combat initiative orders.
Not me. Flopping 6.
How'd
Is
you
that
roll?
with your initiative bonus?
I got 10. Oh, 9.
Nat 20 plus 7, so 27.
So boom, boom, boom. So okay, Ronan, as you finish up your breakfast and are getting yourself packed up, we'll start with you. And how are things? And we'll let you figure out where to go from here, other than obviously moving out down the road. So you get, as you see what, and being, actually that makes sense, being the rogue, would normally be the one taking point and scouting and doing things of that nature. So you would be the first one to see what looks like these points at what you could estimate to be about 200 yards apart along the horizon line.
Okay.
Beyond that, it seems like pretty open, calm desert at this point.
So I suggest I go to the group and I just say, hey, I think we should just move on as quickly as we can, but also stay vigilant as to what's around us and if you need help taking turns controlling the animals, I can roll an animal handling and help you with that if I need to. If you want to take turns.
The horses seem far more relaxed actually this morning, guys. Like, they were very happy to be along their way. You've been pampering the shit out of them for 3 days in the desert. They like you a lot. There's no real need for it. It's like, oh, horse, yes, this thing. Alright, so, all being said, after about maybe 4 or 5 hours, the road starts to change as far as how it's paved. Where once it was just stone laid into the sand and pounded down over time, it's starting to look more like stone inlaid with some kind of glass to hold it together.
Okay.
It's starting to look like there's drainage on it, not just arcing to keep it so that everything will run off to the sides. And those points are now to where you can see probably about half of it. Well, it at half height, and they're obviously spires spaced out very evenly and staggered, with the road winding in between them. Need everybody to roll a perception check. It's a hot day, it's broad daylight, so... Okay.
Nat 20 with plus 4.
It's one definite success.
10 plus 5 is 15.
9.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, as you all are like, Gloria, you would be the last one to notice this, probably more from the smell. The two of you, as you're scanning the horizon line, keeping watch and being relatively vigilant with the last few days that you've had, that and that purple worm thing that ate those rich people just kind of, you really want to watch after that. So as you're watching, you do see one of those paratons off in the distance, well outside of where you would be of any notice to it, goes flying between two of those spires, and an arc of purple lightning connects between each of them, and then goes straight down to the ground, leaving nothing but a puff of ash and feathers. On a 9, Kalora, what you notice of this is a loud shrieking death cry of a bird, and the smell of burnt flesh and feather. And start questioning whether or not being in the air is a good idea.
How close are the pillars?
The road seems to wind in between them. They stagger. Not like...
Have we started down the path between them, like we're staggering between them?
They're about maybe a half mile up the road.
Okay.
It made a big enough splash, though, that you definitely saw this. Split second, the bird's gone.
So it vaporized the bird.
I think the proper word for it would be disintegrated, but yes, we'll go with vaporized.
I mean,
I like disintegrated a lot better.
I mean, after it went dead, put exploded on the way down. Which she likes to make things expand. As we're coming up on the pillars, would I notice if there's any like triggers or traps on the ground?
Actually, the road you would notice the closer you get that it seems like the glass in between the stones almost has a light glow to it. I mean, it's noon. So it looks like there's light sort of emanating from it, like when you look under underneath the horses from where you sit in the carriage. You can see a little bit of light there. It looks like it's some kind of a grid. And the road seems to go right between the pillars, no questions asked. And as you look like further down, you can actually see what looks like it might have been people on a cart going through.
actively going through?
To the best of your ability, yes.
Just trying to see if like
It's a desert. They're about a mile out in the dunes.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out like if the electricity thing is like you know like airborne like deterrent, or is it like the whole feel on the ground? So if it's
From where you're at, you can't really tell.
How long until we get close enough to be able to investigate it?
Maybe about 15 minutes at the rate you're going at. You actually have enough horses and everything that you can move at a relatively reasonable pace now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if we can do like ground the cart. We don't have rubber wheels like cars do. So.
No, that's
Okay.
true. Your wheels have metal rims.
That's what I was thinking. We could always do an investigation or arcana check once we get closer, see what we can learn once we get a little closer to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
See if it's magical energy or.
Is the Rainbow Bridge Author uses?
Just let me know when we're close enough for me to do a throw action.
Okay. So after about 14 minutes, you get close enough that you could throw something at this.
I am looking for a very small rock.
You're in a desert. Okay.
Or something small in nature. Heck.
No, you're in a desert. You find a small rock. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a desert. It's
Right.
mostly small rocks and sand.
I'm going to pick it up. And I'm going to use Gust of Wind at 2nd level. Just to make it.
Pudgy says he can barely hear us.
Pudgy says he can barely hear
Yes, he's
us.
super quiet on the mic. I can barely hear you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for the input.
I can fix that right now.
Yeah.
See? This is why we love you, Budge.
It's one of many reasons.
Yes.
Okay, so that should do it.
Yeah. That's way better.
There we go. I'm going to use Gust of Wind to pitch the rock at my head level standing through the spired gateway, if you were.
Okay. Just to see if you hit the pillar or not, just roll a hit.
Alright.
You're aiming at a 200-yard wide space.
With my strength bonus, that's a dirty 20.
It definitely hits. So go ahead. Let's see. So the rock goes sailing through, and you see it land about 300 yards past the pillar.
Cool. Are there any small living creatures nearby?
No, not that you can see.
Damn.
You can roll another perception check if you'd like, because I'm still running off your 9.
Well, that brings me up to a 21.
So at a 21,
Reasonably eatable animal.
no. You think you might see a beetle? You're actually close enough now that the place where what was left of that bird should have landed, the remains are still there.
If I press the digitation really, really, really hard, can I yeet it through?
You can certainly try. It's directly between the pillars. These pillars are about 50 feet around, or across, so diameter.
I need it to be alive.
They're really tall.
I'm trying to test a thing on living matter.
And
Understand.
as you get down close to it, you notice a large number of arcane runes and inlays of some sort of weird glass that almost looks like crystal and opalescent in between panels and things of that nature, and a very strange sound coming out of the pillar.
Would it be an Arcana check to see if I can identify the runes? Or would that be an investigation?
Hey, you could technically go with Arcana for that one.
I'm gonna roll that too. I'm proficient.
So am I.
No,
17.
8.
I got a 12 plus 5 with my bonus.
I got a 6 plus 2.
Oof.
Difficulty's 5 plus the mage that created its spellcaster level. At the time when they created it. The answer is you're not sure. You know it's magical writing. You know it does something and it has to do with this thing. You're not sure. You've never seen spells like this before. This here be some ancient weird magic as far as y'all are concerned.
Is Herbie with us?
No.
Okay. It just occurred to me to ask.
No, Herbie is not with you. Herbie is permanently attached at the hip to Wisp.
Okay. I just realized that if
He left with his top hat.
if he'd have been with us, we really needed to like worry about feeding the thing.
Oh no, you've got plenty of coins.
Mhm.
He'd have helped himself by now.
Yeah. Like I said, worry about feeding the thing.
Alright, so with the Arcana checks giving you not much, are you still gonna go try and pick up the corpse?
No. No, I need living tissue. Not recently murdified.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any living tissue anywhere near here.
Cool.
Other than maybe you all and the horses, which are starting to be a bit antsy
I
this
pick up
close.
Ronan and throw him. No. No, I'm not that asshole. It would be funny.
It would be cruel.
Would me casting Comprehend Languages help me understand the runes any better?
No, because these are arcane script, and more often than not, they need to be deciphered from a magical point of view. That's why the difficulty for them is the spellcaster difficulty for the level 20 wizard that created these.
Yep.
Other than that, they look like... let's see here. There's always the chance. That was a cocked D10, that never happens. Well, 69, so it'll be pleasurable. Now, 5 minutes into investigating, trying to figure out, watching the rock go flying through and nothing happened, another one of those paratons catches sight
Mm-hmm.
and starts coming down towards you, and you watch as what looks like, again, a beam of, or a bolt of purple lightning streaks out, hits it about 5 feet in front of where the pillars are.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe about 15 feet in front of where you are.
Mm.
And then grounds itself, pushing the body into the sand where
The beetles.
there are none.
No beetles.
No, the sand starts sizzling.
Mm.
And as you look, you would catch little pieces of what looks like glass stalagmites poking up out of the sand.
Yeah, fuck it, I've got the hit points I walk through. I've got the hit points and at least one person with a healing potion. The only way people who can't read the runes and need to go forward are going to figure out if this is great or stupid is for someone to walk through the gate.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I figured that was coming. So I said, fuck it, I've got the hit points.
You think.
No, it hits me right in the face, whatever's coming.
What kind of are they like Nordic runes?
Arcane. They're not really... They're not really Nordic. It'd be somewhere between crossing Nordic, Ogham. Like if you went through the occult section of your average bookstore.
And this isn't out of character either.
3, 4,
Momentary paranoia followed by make a decision.
5, 6, 7.
Just to make it fun, it hits me
9,
right in the beat.
10.
Which,
Cool. Do me a favor because I feel bad if I did it.
cool. As I'm subtly pulling a new character sheet out.
And add 40 to whatever your result is.
Alright. Sweet. Alright. 5.
It's better if it could be a life or death situation to let your
10,
players roll it themselves in my book.
15.
Sure.
20.
Kalora might
Triple.
just kill
25,
themselves, so.
26. 66. I need to roll a Constitution saving throw. I had the hit points to soak it. No, I am unconscious.
Kalora goes walking into it, and you watch this bolt of purple lightning comes through, hits their beak, strips 2/3 of the feathers off of their body,
Cool.
and drops them like a sack of shit. Right
Cool.
between the pillars.
It's not even out of character for this
20
stupid
feet in
bird.
front of you all.
And all you see is, and she bitches at me for doing stupid shit.
It's not even out of character. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, there's no other way Kalora's gonna respond to this. The rocks made it through just fine.
That's tasty.
If I'm functioning on the intelligence of the average teenager, I did exactly what was right.
So, reactions from the rest of the peanut gallery.
No. You know, with a bolt of lightning that hard, a Constitution saving throw
If I-
wouldn't save me.
If I remove all my weapons, because I don't have any piercings, and bone, pretty much anything sticking out is bone. If I remove all my weapons, I'm going to remove all my weapons. I'm going to set them on the cart.
You said if you were posing a question. Let's go with the question route first.
No. No, I'm like, and I'm just going to fucking do it. I was like half-assing it, and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to remove all the metal from me,
This was fun.
because I wear leather armor.
Yes, this was fun. This might be our shortest session yet at this rate.
Oh no, this is a desert. Now you could be hiding anywhere.
How
It's a good thing I've-
how high an investigator would I have to get you to notice it? Any mechanisms or
Where's whispering to?
audio? Or anything on the ground that would look like a different, kind of a different consistency in the stones. There's like, it's into like triggers, like weight triggers.
You can roll investigation for that, and I can start giving you some answers depending on how high you roll.
I'll also want to roll investigation, just investigate the actual towers, see if there's anything that I can find that will help me try to deactivate.
Okay.
I got 21.
That'll help.
I failed.
What'd you roll?
A total of 8.
I can work with that on some things. Mainly because it's being off-balanced by a 21. Okay. So... on an 8, you would notice that there's not the smell of ozone like electricity produced when this went off. your investigation would have gave you the same, like at that 8 level of things. So it's not lightning, whatever it is. The metal part just, Kalora's beak sticks out further than the rest of their body, so that's what got hit first. Beyond that, there don't appear to be any triggers on the ground. You do see what looks like a set of slightly raised runes. In the standing out, they're too far away for you to read what they might be. But it looks like some kind of writing slightly raised and lit and mildly illuminated now that it's getting closer to afternoon. And the sun's starting to go down, so you don't have that bright desert sun showing things. You know, sometimes shit gets brighter when it's glowy.
Yeah. I'm gonna move closer to see if I can't read it.
It's the alphabet in common.
Okay. I don't know, the whole alphabet's going?
Yeah. Each individual letter looks like it's attached to a slightly raised platform, kind of like a keyboard, only actually in order.
Is you saying this thing has a password?
Maybe.
Well, I'm angry at my own character at the moment. I really tried to think my way out of that.
I'm gonna walk close to them. I'm gonna walk up to that pillar with the glowing letters.
It looks like over top of it in common only like a very, very fancy, elegant script. It says, "Who's there?"
Up there?
Uh-huh. And then you've got the little panel full of letters on what looks like buttons.
Okay. I'll enter my name.
I'll wait to see what happens.
You're going to enter your name.
Yeah. We're happy with there.
That might not be the smartest idea. Because if people are looking for us, this would be a very easy way for them to find us.
I'm not wanted. I'm currently not wanted.
Yeah, you're currently not wanted for anything. I mean, you've got a few enemies, but they're all relatively distasteful people, so it doesn't piss too many people off.
Yeah. I'll do that.
And, Kalora, could you make a death save for me, please?
Yep. No.
That's one. You would also notice that Kalora is starting to degrade. Like, their talons are starting to get shorter and fizzle away.
Like necrotic.
No. Like crumbling to sand.
So, is notice anything that might give me a hint as to what is asking for?
It, as you enter your name, you watch as a panel up and to your left flashes red for a second, and you hear a horn, like that buzzer no sound from video games.
Uh-huh. Is that one at the same time that we see that they noticed the change in Kalora?
Yeah, that would be about the time because you'd be sitting there, fuck, And you look over and you see Kalora starting, like, their tips of their nails and their feathers starting to turn to sand, or basically actually disintegrate.
Played everything smart. Couldn't think my way out of a fucking gateway trap. The rock made it through.
Yes.
And you mentioned we saw somebody else go through earlier, so I thought if you went on foot, it'd be fine.
Well, they went through on the road. You went over to where the bird was and tried to walk between the pillars.
So you're saying we just need to go around this thing?
Well, now you've got another problem. If Kalora it makes all 3 of their death saves and sits up,
They're on the other side of that thing.
no, they're still right between the pillars.
An endless loop of I'm awake, I'm dead. I'm awake, I'm dead.
Far worse. The second one will be the game over.
Permadeath. Why do you think I'm over here writing down my backup character that I've been keeping on stock?
I figured as much.
Grab your backup characters, because this is not a drill.
I'm so mad at Kalora, I can taste it right now.
I just got her to sell her soul, damn it. I was hoping you'd get the hint that the road, there were people actually moving their carts on it and it was safe.
No, I
Where's the other
mistook it
road?
saying that.
Am I not?
If you went over towards the pillars are on either side of the road about 50
But
yards
everything else
off.
is still on the road.
Yeah.
Then how did the people go down the road without going through the pillars? That's what I did.
You went to the bird that fell off the ground. As you stepped off the bird.
You stepped off the road and tried to go through the pillars where...
You entered the pillar plane, not on designated route. Alright, so that didn't work.
Well, to heck
Have
with those
rope.
pillars.
Right?
Yes, you both would have 50 feet of rope.
I'm gonna make a lasso. I'm gonna try to catch a foot and pull her up.
Okay. Go ahead and do me a favor and roll a survival check.
I was looking forward to that arc too.
Wait, it's not over yet. There's a lasso involved.
Uh-huh.
How'd you do?
14. 14.
That's more than enough to tie a lasso. So go ahead and roll your 2 hit. It goes off your dexterity, I believe, for that.
My armor class would be 10 right now because I'm like,
Dead.
yeah. I mean, technically, I still have
17.
35 hit points left, but
17. Definitely hits. And
Do you need a strength check to start pulling her?
possibly. Kalora, go ahead and make your next death save, please.
1. Yes.
Did you just nat 1 it?
No, 17.
Okay. You said 1 yes. And I went,
No, that means she got
because if you
one
crit
save and one-
fail on a death save, it counts for 2 failures.
Oh, you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means I would die.
It would have been a very interesting narration involving that leg coming off as you pulled.
Oh.
Or
Fucking
something of that
necromancy.
nature.
Yeah, dark meat choke about legs.
Dark meat chocobo legs.
Yeah, that's where the dark meat is on the chicken.
Alright, so
Leg pull.
go ahead. Now you can go ahead and make your strength save. Are you helping?
Might as well.
Alright, so if he's helping, you can take advantage on it, so roll 2d20, take the highest.
Plus my dex or just plain straight?
Plus your strength.
22.
22, oh yeah, you definitely can drag the bird. You get Kalora good and clear of where that is. And you notice that, yeah, almost perfectly sheared. All of their talons are blunted now.
Mm.
And the tip of your beak is gone again. Top and bottom. About this far back. Not lightning, disintegration. is why nothing goes near that.
How
said-
how far away from the where she started and where I have her at now is she?
About, well, within what you would know to be the safe zone.
Okay. I'm gonna unload one of the donkeys.
They didn't have much on them. They were just strapped for right now. So,
Yeah, but I'm on hook line. I'm gonna make it the lead for the carriage. Like I'm gonna give about 10 feet in front of the two main horses pulling. I'm gonna put that one out 10 feet in front. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
okay.
Gonna tie the rope that I have her attached to the cart. So I don't want to exhaust myself pulling her completely out of the sand and back on the road.
Yeah.
Because that's how it happened last time something was on the sand. So, and I already teetered out there to play with the pillar.
From what you can tell, right around the pillars is somewhat safe. They're just really big and really metal and really would be almost impossible to break anyway.
Yeah. But more looking for purple worms.
You're pretty sure Purple Worm wouldn't even want to go near what just happened to Kalora.
Yeah, well, you know, some species aren't that smart. I'm gonna get Donkey to start. I'm gonna get the whole team to start moving forward with the carriage.
Alright. Are we leaving Kalora in the sand?
No, Gloria is not getting dragged by the.
I was gonna say I don't have that many hit points.
I'm gonna drag her. I'm gonna use the horses in the cart to drag her back onto the road because I don't want to venture out into the sand.
Okay.
Gonna lead her off to the leashes that we're normally be sitting at, and while guiding the rope and watching her until I get her back on the road. I'm gonna use the other hand, this hand to get the carriage to move forward, the donkey to start moving and pulling everything through, while using this to pull her back on the road.
Okay, that is a really complex maneuver.
Not really. It's just like.
Okay, that. Yes, but you're also trying to coordinate 4 horses, a donkey, and not drag Kalora down the road at 5 miles an hour across the cobblestones.
But yes.
So I need you to roll some roll a animal handling on that just to see how this goes.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good.
It's a one, isn't it?
It's a very big one.
Okay.
Nothing.
It's a natural one.
I think I just did.
No.
Sorry.
Good news
No,
is
I'm
you did not
pleading.
kill Kalora.
I probably just fried a donkey.
Y'all ready for this?
Not really.
So, as you go to get the donkey moving, to get the whole ball of wax pulled, Kalora's tied and hitched properly to the back of it. Ronan, you have a front row seat up in the carriage because, well, Torn had this. So, you're watching as the whole thing goes down. And you hear it behind you, quietly. You're not sure what that donkey got into while it was grazing last night.
Oh, Jesus.
The smell spooked the horses. The horses rear and bolt. Are you still holding onto the rope?
Well, no, both like the.
No, are you still holding onto the rope that is attached to Kalora?
Yeah, I'm holding to both. Well, you're like not really holding on. It's more like I'm kind of like this, where it's in my hands, where I can feel it if it moves, but that's not like a firm grip on it.
Oh, it's really taut all of a sudden as you hear the horses rear.
Okay.
The wagon starts going down, and for some strange reason, the horses and mule are all quite comfortable. The mule's scared to death because it's got 4 stampeding horses behind it. The horse is stampeding behind it because the terrible fight of the mule's ass. And the mule farting more all the way down because, well, let's face it, he's a scared mule.
Mm-hmm.
Scared asses release gas.
Okay.
Scaredy parts.
Thus, creating a perpetual motion of, oh god, we need to get away from this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the process of this, Kalora, could you do me a favor and roll 3d6 and subtract it from your hit points?
Mhm.
7. So you hear all of the cobbles and everything about. You'd swear Kalora's gaining consciousness. By the way, you do wake up from the shock to being drugged by your ankle down the road. Your buckler bouncing off of glowy cobblestones. Half of your beak missing, all of your talons blunted, and half of your feathers singed off. But you are conscious. And going about 5 to 10 miles an hour down the cobbles attached by a lasso to your foot.
But with as well as I've been treating the horses, if I would still kind of get him to stop because I've been working with him.
Probably not after 3 days.
Yeah, just kill me. Oh my god.
No.
Well, I still have a hold of. So I'm getting drugged at this point too, no?
Yes.
Because I'm still having. Okay. I'm just gonna scream a command. I'm gonna scream whoa. See if they stop. Because I have the horses.
Roll animal handling again. Ronan, what are you doing through all of this insanity?
Nat 20 bitches.
I am just sitting there like, and they say I'm the idiot. As they're just running down the road, it's like.
Well, they're not running, they're being drugged.
That's what it says. They're being taken down the road. It's like, and they say I'm the fool. At least I'm not getting my ass kicked by a horse.
Okay, you just do stupid things most of the time. To be fair.
Alright,
Just rolling.
so... Yes, you are being drugged because either that or you're going to lose the cart and everything that's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You had already tied Kalora to the cart, so yeah, you're hooked to the back of the wagon going down this road. Seems like the horses are turning with it, almost like they're on one of those, like, you remember the electric car race tracks
Yeah.
that you could get as a kid? It's almost like they're in one of those.
At least he stayed on the path.
So how far in front of me are they now? Like, how
You're in
far
the
did
cart,
they
so
get?
like-
We thought you were in the wagon for that one.
Was I? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got
Yeah,
drugged.
so you're on for a ride? You're not taking any damage or anything?
But he went to the electrical field first, so he's not dead.
He's not dead. Apparently, the road seems to be safe.
We'll find that out the hard way, literally.
I
Okay.
didn't do You guys were the ones that are like, I'm gonna go touch it.
No, that was Kalora.
To be fair, Chloe didn't technically touch it.
It touched them.
So I got that 20 on my hand roll.
So as you yell, whoa, I need you to make a dex save. You're golden. As you yell, whoa, it stops abruptly, and your momentum will keep going for a second, so you manage to flip yourself up into the cart quite gracefully. Kalora, you get your dex save as well. Let's see if you live through this.
Now 20!
At 20.
I'm gonna leave that there.
No, you're not.
About time.
That die is now your friend.
About fucking time, because when I was expecting you to ask me to roll a death save, it rolled a 1. But I left it there because you never asked for a death save.
No, I didn't, because all this would have been happening within 6 seconds, basically. It's all insanity. So, you coming to being drugged like this, hear whoa, watch the thing stop, dig in one of the heels to your heels, it flips you forward, and you manage to catch yourself before colliding with the cart, taking no damage.
Fantastic. kind of brushing off the falling bits of feather. I was due for a molt anyway. It's fine. The pin feathers will be in soon.
Itch.
Happens every couple years. Oh well. Just angry bird face, like.
Missing this much.
Just, looks like I'm going to need an addition. Not a gateway. Gonna keep writing this character sheet just in case.
It's not a gate.
Nope, not a gate.
I'm gonna get her dazed and confused. Kentucky Fried smelling ass into the car.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I'm pretty sure she's just like,
Yeah, you're hearing, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Paying
I'm
no
not
mind.
just gonna, like, you know how you just, come on, let's get you right here, but like, you're not touching the little person. You're like,
Nope.
come on, you little craggy fucker. I guide her into the cart, because,
That would denote my willingness to move. At the moment, I'm pretty happy planting my feet right where they are. I've just been uber electrocuted and trucked behind a cart by several equine beasts, all in a panic. Maybe I don't want to be anywhere near your cart.
I feel like, you know, this is a whole, like, 18, and he's like, I did not put you in the, I did not put you in the airplane, I did not drug you. Twisty points. Mordog. Evil. Injection. Hannibal. Like, come here. Just, nothing happened, you're dreaming.
Roll persuasion for me. I will give you a wisdom save if you want it.
21.
I lose.
So it takes them a minute, but this ushering eventually, much to your own surprise, you find yourself in the back of the wagon.
It's not gonna stick.
No, but she can recover. I'm just gonna get back on the pod and get them moving again and just kind of do. Nothing happened. Back down the road so that the horses lead the way because we seem to be okay.
So, as you continue down this winding pathway, it seems to stretch on forever with these towers in every direction, and you notice that things do go like between where the rows are, even though they're staggered oddly. You know how normally it would be in every other one would be in the middle? No, these are staggered so it's every quarter of one
Okay.
30 hit points left.
on the rows, and the rows are maybe 100 yards apart. So it'll be a tower 100 yards deeper, a tower.
Is there anything like, are they all the same? Is there anything different about each tower as I pass them? Or are they all just pretty much identically made?
They look very much identical.
Okay.
Almost machined. The more you look at them, the thing that you find most interesting is a few times something has actually like tried to dive bomb down to where it sees you all moving, and it gets zapped before it gets to the road, and the ashes fall to either side of the road in an almost arched dome, about 15 feet above the top of the cart.
So it's a tunnel, basically, from what I'm witnessing. Oh, it's like driving through rock, right? Like going to the coast to get the.
It's a tunnel
rock
through a
up.
disintegration field.
Okay.
Because Necro Barbie would not have. She would have defended against something that would even stop other necromancers. You know what's funny about disintegrating the undead? They don't come back from that.
Which is weird because they're undead. Back up.
If there's nothing left.
I mean, there are certain vampires that if there's one drop of blood, they can come back.
Yes, but this isn't Rifts.
Okay.
Some William Afton bullshit.
Yeah, that is some William Afton bullshit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let the horses kind of just follow the path and let them be. at a decent pace, not trying to overexert them.
They toddle along quite well. About mid-evening, the road seems to widen and become more colorful. Like where the mortar was just this really low, dull blue, sort of like the bioluminescent lanterns that you see in parts of Western Europe. It was while it was producing that, it switches to more greens and yellows and brighter colors.
Or Easter like?
Kinda, yeah. And you notice that the warmer the colors, the warmer the area.
Are your temperatures starting to go up?
Just underneath the stone, or just where the stones are in those like yellow, orange, red colors. And not enough to be uncomfortable or painful, just up. Does that make sense?
We feel the temperature. Like it got a little warmer, but then so get hotter. Got it.
You don't feel the desert cold tonight.
Is it looking like there's a spot in it like this where we like
This is quite opened up. It's
camp tonight?
It looks like it's campable, yes.
Do the stones spread out to where you can campable, or is it like spread out to sand?
It spreads out to the stones spread out enough, and it seems like
A little rest area type thing?
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stop there and then get the horses fed and watered before we.
Oh, how nice of her to leave a spot for people who survived the gateway to patch up.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna feed water horses. It's what, midday, evening-ish?
Probably about 6 o'clock in the evening.
We still have daylight, don't we?
A little bit, yeah. It's like twilight hours because you get actually more twilight time.
And we don't know if there's another spot like this. So I'm gonna. Do we want to make camp for the night, or do we want to keep going?
I could use a long rest.
You've been resting for like half the day.
I don't know, how many hours was I in the back of the cart?
About 3.
I got 5 more before I'm back. Fit and fiddle.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, we'll park for the night. We'll camp here. I'll do my nightly routine of pulling them, unstrapping them, washing them, and all that fun stuff.
We'll get beds set up and a campfire going.
What are you using for lumber?
Yeah, firewood on us.
That's what I'm asking.
I should have.
I mean, you have a wooden cart.
With a pre-roasted bird.
I don't think we need a oil. We need a fire to cook. We don't really need one for like warmth.
It depends on how cold it gets tonight. We are in the desert.
Yeah, but we're also like heated rocks.
Yeah. Almost as if some bougie ass bitch tried to go desert camping, got sick of the cold nights, and decided to and picked a pretty spot.
Heated floor.
Exactly.
I watched someone put one of those the other day. Yeesh. I didn't want to do that. I think.
Actually, there's a really cool way that they do it in like Thailand and a few places like that. where-
Japan, they use hot water.
Yeah, hot water steams through bamboo.
Some of it's just running some thick plastic clear pipe, and they just run scalding hot water through it, so it heats the plastic, gets warm, but doesn't get like, melted, and then the floor is really thin. Those spots. It's really cool.
I would love that. Of course, these are also the people who require all wet toilets to have a bidet and a heated toilet seat. Right?
So yeah, I'm gonna. Well,
Bidet.
I feel like we wouldn't have we have gotten firewood when we did all the camping supplies, the trip supplies.
Well, if we just want a small fire to cook with, I do have a tinder box.
But a tinderbox.
Tinderbox is good for getting a fire started.
There's not enough great heat to cook with.
But I can burn the actual box that the tinder box package.
It's a metal
carries.
box.
Oh, it's metal.
It's a little metal box with a flint, steel, and some tinder to get a fire started.
Well, they should put it
We
in a
need,
wood
like-
box so you can use it
No.
for kindling afterwards.
No. I'm gonna take those fucking nobles' clothes and pile them up, and I'm gonna prestidigitation a fire.
I mean,
I looted the shit out of their cart.
yeah. And we all the looting we did in camping, we haven't even picked a firewood. We're really smart.
I'm gonna take the time to actually like hard compress as much as I can down, so it's like a brick of fabric that I've just set on fire.
Okay. Who here has smelled wool burn?
You really, dude. It's a nasty smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as bad as fucking burning your hair in your nose. Like, eesh.
Might as well be the same thing. I mean, it's just sheep's
Okay,
hair.
so Kalora starts a fire for you to cook over, Ronan, by compressing rich people's woolen and linen garments into bricks. Kind of log shaped from being like twisted really well and tied so that they're knotted and like logs. Builds a very nice log cabin fire out of it. 2 by 2 by 2 goes prestidigitation, it burns, everybody smells burning hair now. But you have a fire to cook on.
I suggest we find some firewood on our next day's travel.
Yeah, even with half your nose going, that stinks.
Are any of the water barrels empty?
No,
Nope, they're full.
we've been quite careful with them so that the horses
We
don't
have
have.
food, we have the grain barrel.
I sure hope the grain barrel's not empty. We've got
We have
another
more than
several
one.
days travel to the next town.
Like, we bought several, so I'm assuming we might have emptied one of them at this point.
Not really, no. Well, actually, no. With the added horses, you would have emptied 1 grain barrel by now.
Did it survive the calamity that was getting through that gateway?
Yeah,
So it didn't fall off?
it didn't fall off.
Oh, good.
So we can.
Ronan was sitting against it.
Well, we have that, and we can technically break that apart. Break it apart, the dust should knock off some of the dust we should use in this firewood without it doing the grain dust is. So we'd have a fire.
Okay.
I'm gonna break up one of the one empty barrel so we have wood to burn.
Alright. So you managed to get yourself a nice little fire. It'll probably burn for about 3 hours. I mean, it's a barrel.
Yeah. But with the burning clothes, it kind of helps mask that smell.
Yeah, oddly enough, now you smell something that's almost like a really seedy pub fight.
It's better. Okay, it's better to burn hair. So,
Like, you ever been to that pub where they're mean enough that they'll take the guy by the back of his head and put his beard over the candles? Well, because they're oaken barrels and they're used for all kinds of storage, and these ones were recycled from, like, well, beer's made from grain. You kind of get that ale scent commingled with the burning hair scent in such a manner that it reminds you of a seedy pub and a bar brawl.
oh. Yeah, get dinner cooked. I guess we'll just kind of keep our nightly routine and do the same until morning.
Well, the good news is that by the third watch, you all realize that there's nothing that goes bad. Anything that tries to like okay, who would have had first watch?
I'd have taken it because I slept all day.
Okay, so Kalora, go ahead and roll your perception for me.
It's a 16.
Plus,
3 is 19.
so on a 19, you would have been the first one to notice it. Anything that tries to fly over the road, like outside of that 15 feet above, anything that comes from where the road starts and where this like bubbled out place in the road is, instantaneously gets hit with that same kind of weird purple, almost lightning bolt, and most of it seems to turn to ash.
tree activity increases at PM nightfall?
Normally, yes. Here? Well,
Only a dumb month come by.
as Kalora had watched one little thing bounce in, Ronan, as you take the second watch, which is the normal pattern for the evening, Torin sound asleep, Kalora wanders off, and about halfway through your watch, you would have had to been dead 3 days to miss the light show. As a purple worm comes upward between a grouping of these, you'd swear there must have been like 9 different pylons that were close to it in proximity. You see one of the most glorious fireworks shows of your existence go down, complete with popping, sizzling, loud, monstrous shrieking similar to "Oh no, Godzilla." And then silence. And the sound of sand filling back in over itself. And suddenly you have a brand new respect for Kalora, having lived through that.
I'm a beefcake. Not as
And it
smart
got
as one
hit
too.
9 times at once.
I'm a beefcake. Ooh, but I'm also about as smart as one.
The beef or the cake?
Beef.
Well, cows are pretty smart, it turns out.
Not once they're beef.
They're smart enough to taste good.
No. I don't think I've ever had a moment when a perfectly in character choice made me mad. At least not this mad.
Point to me.
I'm so mad at this big dumb bird right now.
I didn't even do anything to the character. That's the best part. All you had to do was stay on the road. Anyway, so moving forward,
That was my watch.
as you go to bed and it comes to your watch, the smell of burnt flesh is on the air round about the time that you wake up. You see flashes of what looks like little, they almost look like a, for lack of a better way to put it, they almost look like the face huggers from the Alien movies. Only this big.
Mm.
And all teeth and claws.
Okay.
Going and jumping up like they were trying to get to where your campsite is off of the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like psst, 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 psst,
Like a bug
while you're
zapper.
making coffee, like a bug zapper.
Mm.
And like no noise, just puffs of ash. They've got about 2 hit points apiece.
Okay. I'm just gonna do my normal routine with the horses and the doggy.
Everybody up and moving?
Now I get up looking fresh. A little burnt, but fresh.
You notice you all did sleep rather well. Interesting fact. Something's weird about this campsite. Your beak's back.
Huh?
And your coin purse feels lighter.
How much later?
The cost of a greater restoration spell.
So 1,000 gold.
Yeah, or 10 platinum pieces.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, no. It would have been at Aspen's prices at the time prior to market inflation over the last 50 years, so yeah. Pre-cataclysm magic costs. So, like, your 10 gold light.
Okay.
Let's just put it this way. Magic so saturated the world before the cataclysm that everybody and their brother could fart at least 2 cantrips.
Mm.
Yep.
Good old days.
Yeah. When everybody could afford things.
No, then my feathers are back.
Yes.
Even the ones you've been plucking all season long.
Uh-huh.
Oh, goody.
More to pluck. I could no longer pluck the bird, so I had to fix this.
You didn't lay down enough glue traps.
Why, when Walls of Disintegration works so much better?
And since I'm no worse for wear, I am now thoroughly amused with myself for yesterday's antics. As any wonderful blockhead jock would be. I came off it at full hit points and no worse for wear.
I'm assuming we're just gonna get down with like breakfast, get everything, and get back
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah. And the day goes relatively smoothly. Round about sunset on this day, like, there's nothing that can really get to you as long as you stay on the road.
Yeah.
Round about sunset, the road stops at the base of the mountains. There's a wall, gates, more closely pushed together but smaller towers over the wall. Like where you would have normal wall supports on an old Victorian wrought iron fence. Everything is gilded in gold and pink. It looks like I'm Ubermage Barbie lived here.
Are there any guards or soldiers or anything like how we see?
Don't need it.
You see, as you look, what you can see through the gates, you see what looks like humanoid, humanoid something made out of metal, walking around, puffs of steam coming off the top of their heads.
Yeah, and I don't have a sense of like just a door. I don't like. There's no guards on my side. It's like only I can unlock the door and I can see through it. There's nothing on my side.
There's a gate. It's a gated door. It seems to be locked by some means, but you can't see the lock.
It's more like it's like a gated up from the inside type thing.
Just locked. It doesn't look like there's a doorknob or anything.
On my side, okay. Gonna knock on the door. Nothing like super aggressive, just to
Knock, knock, knock.
loud enough that anybody can hear me, but not like the police banging on the door.
Which you, so not what you got going on in there, but just a hello.
You know, you that big whack, 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 like but the police, like you know that.
Yeah.
Knock. Or like your buddy comes over, he's just drunk, and he's like hitting the door a little harder than he's supposed to.
So it rattles throughout. Everything stays quiet for a bit. You were quiet about the knocks, so.
I'm not trying to provoke aggression.
Oh no, you're not going to provoke
You need
aggression.
your monster manual?
Yeah.
It's evening.
You're not going to provoke aggression. I just need to see what its perception score is. Because the sound will carry, but I need to make sure how far it carries. And I don't care if you guys see it. It's already It's 14. Yeah. So things change inside. You hear sounds moving behind the wall, or much further up these stairs behind this gate.
Okay.
Gears start turning. The sound of latches echo through this basically box canyon that this whole tower starts at. And you can see a tower stretching upward a good maybe
Leftover dictator.
Empire, like in Empire State Building High, there's a tower of gold and bronze and brass, copper, steel working mechanisms. The more you look at it, the more you can see gears turning, spinning in fast and slow incarnations. And down from some place that you cannot even see, far above you, you hear someone shout, "It'll be just a minute, but I'll be down."
Okay. Yeah. Just gonna patiently wait at this point. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to provoke aggression or confrontation.
Yeah. Being up there and having a modicum of like common sense, just a little bit. Oh, take your time, hon. We're patient. I'm not looking to piss anybody off either. I already mistook one set of pillars for a gateway, not twice. I learned the first time I do something dumb.
Touch it, get boo boo. No, do my God.
Touch it, meet God. What?
Well, I got boned anyway, so let's just go. Anyway, so yeah, just wait for the. You can kind of start to see it through the hole in the door or whatever.
After a while, you see looks like a young half drow. Almost looks like Aspen spit and it landed. Only it has gold eyes. Comes walking up to the gate. Looks, "Oh well, aren't you interesting?"
We are simply asking you if we can get passage through here. We're moving past this area.
Can I help you? Passage? What are you trying to get to? The only thing here is the tower. This only goes there, and there's the only place that it has a destination to. Beyond this gate is the courtyards, the gardens, the mistress's libraries, and a few of her labs. The more lucrative one. Oh, and my quarters.
Is your quarters right in, like in the tower? Your quarters?
Oh, yes. Of course, I mean, I am the caretaker here. By the way, have you seen a drow woman looks approximately like me, mid to late 40s?
The noble lady?
Are you asking about Aspen?
Yes.
So
Hup. Seen recently? No. Seen in existence? Yes. Know where she is? No. Hope she's doing okay? Yes.
And you were saying?
that she was with us and we haven't seen her for a while, and that's part of why we're here, is we're looking for her.
I honestly don't know who you're talking about.
Why would you be looking for her?
This is in character.
Because like I said, she was a member of our party and just kind of disappeared, so we wanted to make sure she was alright.
She's the love of my life.
This is in character.
Really?
This is in character. Like, just straight.
So this person walks through the bars, literally, reaches over and puts a very solid hand on your shoulder, Kalora, Yes, so what's really the truth, dear?
She's the love of my life.
We're here to read.
What are you trying to read?
Me personally, I don't give a fuck about them at the moment. Me personally, damn near everything. I am as dumb as a bird can come. I have injured myself multiple times on the trip here out of sheer confusion. I just want to read.
Can you read?
Yes, usually. Yes, we know Aspen. Last time we saw her physically, she was in good health. We don't know where she went. She vanished before we left the town where we met.
And where would that be, pray tell? I very rarely get out of this cat tower, you see.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
Just to
For
catch-
what?
I'm looking to see if the poor town of Evermist would suffer if I gave their name. Just like
Okay.
if I can, I don't know, divine sense a little?
Okay.
That's a 16. That's
The
a
answer is they'll be fine.
Okay.
You are relatively certain, beyond most reasonable and some unreasonable doubts, that they'll be okay.
We were adventurers together in the town of Evermist, where a large portion of the population she came with are currently refugees.
Well, Evermist, you say? But isn't that as far north as you can go before you have a popsicle stick up your bum?
Yes.
As she put it?
Hmm. She appeared when the refugees did, but not quite as they did.
Oh, yes, I heard she had some sort of a dastardly little curse going on.
She's not about 40 years of age.
Well, she's an elf. There's no telling.
Your boots would be too big.
Speaking of that,
My boots would... But I am the exact size of Miss Aspen.
Usually. When she grows up.
When she... Oh. Oh. Maybe she'll have a better go at it the third or fourth. And
The one just
anyway,
starts dying.
so what is it that you all exactly need? Well, she might have been the one that hatched me, but I was left in an incubator in a library. Not the worst of existences, but... So what books are you all looking for? Do come in, come in. Don't worry about the gates, it's just to fool idiots.
Hi, I'm an idiot. Books.
On what?
how to remove curses. For
Big
one.
whitish blue dragons. One ate my friends, and it's much bigger than anything I've ever seen before, and I don't want to hit it without knowing what I'm getting in a fight with. And that's straight honesty.
As you're listening, as she listens to this, and as you're walking up through these gardens, which you see are manned by what a combination of iron golems and some sort of mechanized gardeners, basically. Think the Tin Man, only much more crude.
Mm-hmm.
Or this entity goes, well, I hope you all don't mind, but this form is a little bit constricting.
I assumed it would be.
So,
Kind of just gently takes a step back.
you might want to back up just a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Just, like, drawing back. Not out of fear, just to give her space.
There's still pillars like running down the road.
Not here. Once you cross that gate, no pillars.
I gotta cross it alive! Ish!
most of the way?
I'm noticing her taking a step back, right?
Yes.
Just gonna mimic her behavior.
Alright. And what was very much looked like Aspen, other than those weird gold eyes, stretches, morphs, the neck becomes longer, horns grow, a whiskered face with reptilian features
It's a relative of yours.
stretches out for some
A relative.
50 to 60 feet long. Every single scale shining like the sun.
Kalora has just stars.
The eyes just starting to glass over with gold so that you can still see the pupil, but they have that strange old dragon's magic glow to them. And a set of wings, wide enough that all of you can fit underneath one, horses and all.
Very pretty.
Now,
You're very, very pretty.
you like coin, don't you?
No. No. You're just very pretty. Never been this close to anything like this.
It's a gold one. They're actually relatively harmless as long as you don't fuck with them.
Or lie to them.
Lied it.
Who's lied?
She's the love of my life. That was not in character. I'm not being that asshole.
So, I have to ask, what on earth made you fall for Aspen, dear sir? I mean, we're talking about a gaunt, half-drow woman who wanders around poking dead things for fun and collecting their parts.
We spent some magical nights in the woods while I was on a hunt. She happened to be hunting for the same thing I was. I just got there first.
Roll deception. I need to know what the number is on that insight. It's only an adult.
21.
15 total, 7 plus 8. Well, you must tell me much more about her. And what kind of dead thing were you hunting? That woman's never gone into the woods for anything alive in her life.
Mutated kobolds. Some, I don't know, we didn't really pick a name for it. She was gonna name it when she got done playing with it.
Sounds about right to me.
Kalora's blood pressure is so high right now.
But on the track that I was on, more specifically, not only did it eat friends of mine, it ate small children in a schoolhouse through some sort of portal.
Oh, well, that's problematic. Do you have any idea where the portal went?
The elemental plane of ice.
Okay, well, I'm sure that she's got books here on that somewhere.
I'm going to fight it whether I know what it is or not, but I figured I'd do some research if I could.
Your friend isn't very smart, is she, Master Ronan?
I introduced myself as high-armed idiot.
I never told you my name.
Yes, but your picture's in the books.
Yeah.
And in a few portraits that were painted of your party when you were a much younger, well, no, when you were about this age.
Yeah, speaking of which, you know that curse that you mentioned earlier?
Oh.
Do you think you could help remove it in any way?
Sadly, I have not the power to deal with Aspen's works. Not when she was at her height. Though I suppose if she's a child again, is the idiot, I suppose. That's your name? Said,
I'm just grinning from ear to ear. A dragon called me an idiot. I'm happy.
So, from what the idiot here tells me, she's 12 again, so I doubt very seriously her body could withstand that kind of magical pressure. I'm not very sure who would be able to uncurse you. A god, perhaps. And which curse?
Let's just say every time I die, I get teleported to the bottom of the lake.
Oh, that curse.
Yeah, I get transported to the bottom of the lake, back to the age I was when the curse first happened.
To the exact location where the curse first happened.
Yep,
Which is now a lake.
exactly.
Well, you know, you could spend this life paying to have the lake drained and relocated to a place further downhill. Then when you reincarnate, you could always make it so that your reincarnation points a bed. Nice and cushy. Die, wake up in down pillows.
Yeah, but if I die, I'd rather just die.
He wants to be dead, not dead-ish.
Oh, well, I'll have to do some research, but I'm pretty sure there's a way to make that happen for you if it's really what you want.
Yeah, because I'd rather be able to age past a certain point also, because once I hit a certain point of the curse, I'd get transported back anyways. So it's either die or age to a certain age and then die anyways and be transported back over and over.
Interesting. Do you keep any memories from this?
Not really. Usually once I die, it's almost like starting a new life, but I can remember certain things.
I wonder if you could leave yourself notes. Seriously, I think your best bet would be to drain that lake. And then build yourself a nice little chalet with your bedroom exactly at the point where you reincarnate. You could live forever, keep hold of all of your knowledge. I mean, sure, the first year or two will be a little bit rough, and you're going to have to start reading the cliff notes on your life after the first millennia or so. But you could spend 3 years catching up on everything you forgot, no problem.
So you're saying it's not really, it could be considered more also a blessing and not just a curse?
I guess it all depends on how you look at it. The easiest way to break it would be to actually figure out a way to kill the person who cast the curse in the first place. The problem is that the curse came from a wish spell, if my research serves correctly.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how the curse came about. I just know that one day I woke up and I was cursed.
Oh, you woke up you died and you woke up.
Uh-huh. I died, I woke back up, and I was a young teenager.
Oh, well, that is quite problematic. Let me see here. And at this point you watch as the same body shifts again. This time into a more humanoid form, just because it's easier to get to the books and everything, as you reach the front gates. So, you all are welcome to come in. Please don't touch anything that's bubbling. Unless it's the soup pot, and then help yourself. Just not the soup pot on the right, because that might be the decoction I'm using to work on a project.
Projects. Cool. What kind of projects?
The stinky kind of projects.
Interesting. Yeah, no thanks.
It is 6 o'clock.
So, with it being about 6 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and take that bio break and
Fantastic.
come back to a nice description of what this library that you'll be entering looks like. And you all can get on with the puzzle of figuring out what the hell to do with that dragon. Not the big gold one that's here, but I would remind the players out of character that you do have things that Tiamat wanted from this building.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a very large gold dragon that is quite covetous of their hoard.
And we were told if we have to kill it, we have to kill it. I prefer not to, because they've been so helpful towards us so far, but I ain't against it.
As a rule, gold dragons are lawful good. Like, very much favored of Paylor, lawful good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we are going to bio break. We shall return. Thank you so far, and see you soon.
There's more to cleaning your home than meets the eye. So if you want truly cleaner air in your home, replace your filter at least every 3 months.
3 days only. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Save thousands on hot tubs and swim spas. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old spa. 18-month interest-free.
We are back,
We are.
and not in outer space. That's a different part. That's a different thing.
Oh.
That's dice. Okay. So, as the conversation comes more to a close, you find yourselves in front of a set of doors big enough to accommodate this dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the claw, just one singular claw, similar to the goblin in Gringotts, run down the center seam to the door, and mechanisms, locks start clicking, turning, and little sections of light start to glow on panels throughout the doorway as it swings open of its own volition. And before you, you see a waterfall encased in gold. Stream, like indoor, like think Willy Wonka type waterfall on like crystal clear blue water, cascading out of perpetually nowhere from what you can tell. What looks like lily pads made of precious metals and sprouting and blooming flowers of gemstones. Pink and white diamonds forming full-blown lily, water blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
And shelves upon shelves of books. Every kind of book you could imagine in shape, binding. Strange symbols marking them like sections. And a signpost directly in front of the door about 10 feet with this as the backdrop. And upon it, it says here, there, everywhere, nothing, everything, something, who knows, couldn't figure it out, why not?
I'm starting the why not.
When you get to the sign and you look for why not is a bookshelf that it points at directly up. That is like this with the face facing down and all the books stay in place.
Cool.
Looking up, you're not sure how high that is.
Okay. It has wings. And a hover function.
You do. There are coiled staircases, and why not is just kind of, as you get up there are countless books. Most of them actually in place. A couple of them that are half out of the shelf are dangling open, their pages flopping in the air, as if gravity stops right at the face of the bookshelf. It goes back in, no problem.
Just very gently and lovingly put the dangling books back up. Because I'm not a good student, but I do care that the books are taken well care of. Meanwhile, looking for things on the elemental plane of ice, because why not?
Elemental, that plane of ice, and why not section. Go ahead and roll perception. Okay, what are you guys doing at the signpost while I wait for that one?
There's nothing that shows like or hints that I can go to her research lab, like research lab, something along those lines.
Natural 20?
Yep.
Cool. That's gonna be funny. You're in the why not section.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I expect to find some interesting shit.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly literally.
No, there's no shit on the shelves. Okay, so you would notice that the one that says there, like the sign that says there, you notice what looks like a gear next to it. The one that says here has a spiral next to it. The one that says why not has a laughing face on it, as far as the signs themselves go. You can't see any of this because you're why not?
Mm-hmm.
There is one that looks like an alchemist's flask that says everywhere.
I might head in that direction.
Good call. I'm running. Are you going everywhere or?
I'll just. I want to look for stuff just related to dragons in general. Anything. Everything. This, that, here,
Okay.
there, everywhere, nothing.
Okay, you're going. Which one are you going to? Each one of those is a direction on this signpost.
Oh,
That would be something, but that's metagaming.
No, it could be everything. It could be nothing. It could be it could be all things. It could be no things.
let's go with something.
All right. So you head off towards something.
Well, actually, you would have known quite a bit about her obsession with riding a dragon, so something could very easily have to do with rideable dragons.
Mm-hmm.
How to tame a dragon, things of that nature. Okay, so we are going to start with why not. We're going to stop with yours because yours is going to be the most interesting because you chose to go everywhere,
I went towards the alchemy sign, so.
which is everywhere.
Why not?
All right, so Kalora, scanning the titles for why not, you find several that depict images of dragons. You find a very old elven tale called The Lady and the Dragon, an erotic story.
Mm-hmm. That scans.
That's some rich shit. A guide to the best places to find dragon poo.
They literally found shit on the shelves.
I figured I'd find some interesting shit.
That actually would be interesting shit considering what a large number of dragons do eat.
Mm-hmm.
This too must pass, and if you eat gemstones and gold.
It's not great, right?
It's just
Technically.
doing my duty to clean up my community.
You find one that says how to sexing and breeding of wyverns and lesser draconic beings. How to feminize a dragon egg. Fertilizing dragon eggs the Aarakocra way.
No.
So you want to be a dragon. And another book, approximately this thick, very brightly colored, almost looks like a child drew it. Image says, when the fairy dragons are angry, my butthole explodes. And it's a children's book.
Nope.
So which ones did you take? One or ones did you take with you?
So you want to be a dragon?
Taking this down and finding yourself a desk in the central rotunda of this library tower, You find that this is a book that will tell you all about the breeding habits, practices, how to gain a horde, possibilities on ways to extract dragon's blood with and without killing them, possibilities to transmute oneself into a dragon permanently with all of the added abilities at the age level one would prefer. It is a very thick, about 90-pound tome. Most of the pages seem to be written in liquid metal. Like somebody just used gold or silver to write the letters on normal thick parchment.
That wasn't what I was hoping for. Close the book. I might revisit it later, but for now.
Now, as for something. As you go looking through, try to find something. What something in particular were you looking for first?
Blue ice dragon. Those are the 3 keywords I use.
So you hear a shifting as you're looking over, and you see most of the books that are presented to you are things that say dragons on them, etc. And you see blue books, books that are slightly crusted in ice, dragons of this, dragons of that. You find that the owner of this tower was quite obsessed with dragons.
Yeah, I kind of knew that. Knowing who the previous owner of the tower was, yeah.
And the current owner of the tower is a dragon, so.
Yeah. So, what else do I see?
After a good 10-15 minutes wandering the stacks and hearing, and for you, it feels like you're walking in a straight line, but you can hear something shifting through the books. Every now and then you'll see a book shift shelves in front of you, down the aisle ways, but they'll, across the aisle, like the books are shifting places, and new ones are showing up from other areas. And when you look up, you can see them coming through, and you do find something that says extra planar dragons. And it's a picture of something that looks very similar to what you saw facially, coiled this way, with one that's fire-based and looks the same. And where you're used to like the European dragon with the forearm, with the legs, arms, and wings, these are very long and unwinged.
So they're more like
a lung dragon.
Like a Far Eastern serpent.
Correct. Like a lung dragon.
Gotcha.
And this, it reads, dragons of the outer planes and obscure places. Now, as for everywhere.
Hi, everywhere.
Tor, you start, and you notice that there's a little display case as you start following the everywhere. The first display case has a sign that says Gold Dragon's Egg. And it's sitting in something that you would assume would be an incubator of some sort, but it's cracked. The case is broken.
Okay.
You could assume that would probably be where the dragon came from. You nat 20'd that, didn't you?
What, the perception?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thought so. So, as you go, you notice that everywhere, this mage was obviously a very active individual, because it looks like their experiments and research are strewn out in random little scraps of scroll rolled up and stuffed into multiple workstations that spiral all the way up to why not.
I'm gonna collect the pieces that I find until I get to basically get to Kalora.
Color is down now.
Kalora came down with a big. You see Kalora going down with a very large, thick book that looks like it's bound in dragon scales. Ronan, you can hear some of the bookshelves moving around and is off doing something. And as you reach the top of Everywhere, where it dead ends, much well below the actual top of the tower itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Why Not is way up there. In the go ahead and try section.
Oh, there's one of those too, huh?
Yeah, go ahead and try to get to where those books are. The person who put them there can't even do it. So, at this dead end, you see what looks like one of the scales, like what you have, or like what you remember seeing on that dragon in the Plane of Ice. The scale itself is iridescent and looks like it's perfectly preserved. It's being held in some sort of a clamp. And every time that it starts beating condensation from warming up, a little door opens up, a hammer drops down, and what looks like a fairy made out of all the worst parts of an ice storm, only ugly and devilish, gets smacked, exhales a puff of frost cold, the condensation goes away, and the scale remains pristine. Created by Necro Barbie, permanent freeze. Ice method plus hammer equals breath.
The Tinkerbell's cousin got a shitty ass job.
Well, don't be a dick. And that wouldn't happen.
Am I noticing the
It's a repeating scroll of summon ice method and a hammer.
Uh-huh.
As I've been following around and picking up these scraps and tomes and parts of paper and all this research that just seems to be kind of out of place.
Go ahead and, with everything that you've gathered, because that's a lot of things from like about 700 yards of walking a set of stacks and researches, that where you would see a sign that goes, everywhere, more of everywhere, everywhere has everything, and things of that nature that would say, and this is where everywhere ends, is where you found that scale.
Is there a table near me?
Yes, there's actually like what looks like an alchemist table tools lab. There's one set up about every 50 feet along the along the walk you just took.
We'll take everything I collected and sit it on the table and start sorting through it and see. I want to see if there's anything that either meets the requirements of the things I'm looking for, or just sticks out to me. I need to roll for investigation.
Yes, I do need an investigation. So on a 19, thumbing through everything, you find diagrams on how to create mechanical dragon wings that would mimic the real thing. Pretty sure they work pretty well from what you could tell. I mean, you're no expert, but still. You do find specifically information on elemental dragons. Dragons that are neither chromatic nor metallic. There, you also find information on dragons made of stone, that resemble gems, and the fact that most of these live on other planes. And then, at the very end, you see a drawing. An exact image, only the diagram shows it, or depicts the measurements and everything is much smaller. It's been about 50 years, so you could assume that it just didn't grow. Or it's grown since then. a perfect depiction of the habitat and mannerisms and an image to match it of the thing that you all were looking for information on.
As I'm going through all this stuff I found, I'm gonna make piles to kind of like organize what I found to kind of like this what I think goes together.
You find things on dragon anatomy, medicine, this thing's anatomy, diet, preferred diet, practices, etc.
On the one we're looking for. I'm gonna compile all that together. Now think of a stack of paper do I have with all the information I found on that particular dragon.
Maybe like 5 or 6 scrolls. Some of them are actually just very thick scrolls that are that you'd have to roll up to transport, about as long as the table, that are full size, like to scale drawings of it.
Okay.
Well, she was very meticulous in all of her work.
Yeah?
Take it and my satchel. Not trying to hide it, just like
Yeah, so you can carry it.
yeah. Where's the gold dragon at?
They seem to have disappeared. You all went looking through the library and everything, and they just kind of wandered off to do their own thing.
So,
They're not really worried about you.
do I have like so on the sheets of that I found? Do I find anything that notates kind of a general like with all the different areas? And are there any markings on this? Like it looks like someone was walking around and leaving shit. Like if they were writing it, like oh, I filled this page up and set it down type thing. I'm assuming.
Kind of.
The page is all about this dragon. Do they have like a marking of the area which they came from, or would have been placed into?
They are all pre-cataclysm. It seems like some of them, like one table would be in particular working with anatomy. Another would be working with like habitat and practices, like anthropology versus archaeology of it.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was another one is actually estimating the size of the spell components and possible spell components out of this exotic type of dragon. There's another one that does a full set of calculate that you find another one that for this particular dragon are an entire list of questionable practices that may or may not have turned it into the equivalent of a Dracolich under her control.
Not sure what that is.
Undead dragon that can still use magic, among other things. Normally controlled by an evil wizard.
I'm also gonna grab the metal wings how-to little instruction thing.
Okay.
Put that in my satchel.
That could come in handy. Lose one. And the other thing that you find is a diary.
Okay.
Written in common graphite and very, very faded.
Can't make out any of the words in the diary.
The very last page. I'm tired of that 5-headed bitch showing up at my door. I don't like her dull-colored children. I won't work with them. I'm turning the grid on tomorrow.
And all its pages are 2 pages to make out.
Yeah, Yeah, you know how like if somebody wrote their entire diary in pencil?
Yeah. I'm gonna grab that. Am I done looking through everything I found?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab everything I found in the Blue Dragon. Everything related to that little pile of stuff. The metal wings
Alright.
stuff. And this, I'm gonna head back down to where I last saw Clora.
At this point, you would, as you get down there, you would see Ronan sitting at a table, looking through a very odd book that you see has waves of heat and frost coming off of it simultaneously. You don't even feel it, Ronan. It's just an effect.
Okay.
Oh, or I'd be as interested in what Ronan's looking at.
Kalora comes down from you with a very big, we'll say, silverish white book. Kind of looks like it's made out of scales.
I found a book on how to be a dragon.
I found one on ethereal dragons in their outer plane.
It's probably the right place to look.
That's what I was thinking.
We do have a couple of brain cells to rub together.
And right about this time, Torin walks up to here. You do have a couple of brain cells to rub together.
I'm gonna try. So this is, I'm gonna put all the papers on the Blue Dragon. I found her, right? Her? It's a her.
So the thing I ran into was part of the grid.
Mm-hmm. You found her as in the dragon?
Yeah. It's her, right?
The dragon we're hunting.
Nobody knows yet.
No, I found it, and I've been placed on all the papers and things, tomes, whatever I found, scrolls pertaining to the Blue Dragon, and this looks just like her, so this is all about her. It whatever.
And well, let's take your information and some of my information, see if we can find this thing.
No. You're the historian of the area.
I found a book on how to be a dragon.
I'm gonna try to turn into one.
No, I was just curious. It was the only thing in my section that looked like it might have anything to do with what I was looking for.
To be a dragon. The detailed description of said dragon. Did she turn herself into a little dragon?
Maybe. It's not out of the question. But everything else was on dragon sex.
I don't know how I feel about that. Just saying.
I don't think any of us know how to feel about that.
Including on lesser draconic beings like Dragonborn.
Yeah, the Kama Sutra for dragons. Yeah.
The Kama Sutra was mild.
Yeesh. I'm gonna take what I found and ask to, while you're looking through it real quick, I'm gonna take the how to be a dragon thing to see if there's anything like ABC. That one leads to this, like there's clues that
Yeah.
you might be able to put together.
I held my hand out for the book you got.
I don't have a book. I have a couple. I have scrolls. And
I'm looking for the one you just said you had.
the diary.
Yeah. You said you got something.
Yeah, I mean,
Books, diagrams, research notes on this particular dragon.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Cool. Let's hit a table.
You
Let's hit a table and study all this.
do cartography, right?
I do make maps, yes.
Have you ever restored faded maps?
Several.
This book has some legible writing, but most of it's faded. Is there anything you can do to revitalize what was on the blacked out page, whited out pages?
How?
Yellowed.
Yellowed.
I take the book.
I open it, running my fingers really gently along the first few pages just to get a sense for the health of the paper.
Crumbles in places.
It was just literally a feather's touch, but yeah, I can see that happening.
You're pretty sure that parts of this paper may have touched something acidic. Other parts of it have definitely been stained with some sort of liquid. And there's a couple weird, like almost chartreuse stains. Like, you know how you get weird colors on the edges of the pages?
How much of this do you want restored?
Well, just what we can. Back towards the end of the book, I think, is where we start getting closer to the information we need.
Alright, well, there's a page here at the end, okay, well, she's had a problem with Tiamat and Tiamat's kids. I reach into my bag and I pull out my cartographer's tools, one of which is a jar of extremely fine charcoal.
Okay.
It's a ultra fine powder and an extra fine brush. This is like mink fur. And I tap.
Black
What?
smear. Erases this part of the statement about Tiamat.
What? So like
That's impressive. Because that should have highlighted the impressions in the paper.
Uh-huh. It's been sitting in in a place that has desert fluctuations in humidity with an indoor waterfall for 50 years plus. Which means that the paper has bloated and shrank over the years repeatedly. Not to mention it was her diary, which means that it was always on her workbench, and that paper was probably really good quality when it was first made.
Well, good news is, this is the page we read.
Is there some kind of magic we can do to restore it? Like restorations?
I want to cast the world's smallest prestidigitation on just like the bottom corner of the page.
Okay.
Just,
Stains disappear.
that's good.
Except for this one strange pink dot.
Poof. I'm just like literally still trying to keep it ridiculously small to just this page.
You press the digitation to the page.
As like trying to restrict myself as much as humanly possible. I'm
Okay.
aiming at the charcoal.
Trying to.
So as you cast prestidigitation at the charcoal, and you would hit the whole page in the process because the size, and you're not really a good spellcaster. You're a big dumb bird with an intelligence under 13.
Mm-hmm.
So when you cast prestidigitation, it clears off the coal powder. Good news.
But
It clears off the remainder of the graphite as well.
Mm-hmm. I kind of figured
It
those.
also clears the rest of the stains. And that one little pink dot was part of a relief showing a diagram on how to make a planar portal.
Good job. Well, this book is too fragile for me to work on because it is both too humid and too brittle.
You do notice that the page that you pressed the digitation that those plans and schematics came out on
Mm-hmm.
is more durable.
Nice.
Almost as if there was an enchantment on the book on each individual page to hide the information.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do the thing, crumble.
Well, I don't have a lot of skills outside of my cartography skills, so for me, this book is extremely fragile and not restorable.
That's true. Though you have found out that you can at least unlock the pages
Mm-hmm.
one by one. And you all are now looking at a rather, the leaf falls out of the book when you hit prestidigitation, just floats to the floor looking like a normal sheet of paper. The entirety of the schematic is done instead of like normal engineer or draftsman's blue. It's done in fuchsia. Like Barbie fuchsia.
I don't
You
wanna
understand why. Anaya knows why. The joking statement for the particular character who was at one point a PC for this is that she was known as Necro Barbie.
Okay.
Like, straight out necromancer wizard. Totally Barbie girl about it in pink and pretty.
Does she like bright colors?
Mm-hmm. But necromancer, so... Let's just say she had the cutest zombies on the block.
Can I summon the gold dragon? Or like call for it?
So, not knowing a name because, well, they skipped that nicety, being a space cadet and not used to visitors. You all skipped that nicety because dragon.
Mm-hmm.
As you call out, hello, hey you there, whoever.
Hey honey, come back to daddy. I don't know. I didn't say that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. So as you call out, you do get an answer back. Right, so you found what you want.
Yes.
This book may need some help.
That's what I call the dragon. I found a book, we can't read it.
Oh.
But the part I could read of it, it gives me the information that I need, but the rest of the pages look really, really faded. Is there anything you can do to help us restore it to where we can read the whole thing?
Hold on, I'll be down. And you hear the shuffling of normal human-sized footsteps because the place was built for a human being, or a normal-sized creature, not a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And they come up and say, alright, so let me see this book.
Well,
of
it's in
yours."
quite good condition now.
Well, only the one page. How did you get the page to... What's... Oh. Well, that's interesting.
I'm a cartographer. I attempted to restore it.
What did you do that made that show up?
I cast prestidigitation on the page to try to get the coal dust that I had brushed on it off.
Of course, she would have used a cantrip instead of some decipher script.
Oh no, I brushed it with charcoal.
Not you.
Oh.
My dear, that book is hex.
Okay.
It's enchanted. The
Halfway.
lock is magical. She always said, sometimes the simplest things could yield knowledge. I don't think you'll find much on your dragon in there. That is her diary. More accurately, that's the diary of her inventions.
Ah,
To include probably blueprints on the grid.
nifty. Well,
Is there anything you can do to help us?
Well, your friend here seems to know how to make the pages unlock.
I turn the next page and just
Slowly but surely you watch as it looks like, you know those snake fireworks that you can get, the ones that just produce the gong tube, like the worms? It looks like that kind of a burning sensation along it, or like when you light a hookah coal, along the surface, and as it burns away, the lettering turns to golds and rubies and silver, and another pattern, this time illustrated in full color, like she got really bored. It as this opens up and the The schematic that, or the thing that comes before you, you see numbers, letters, weights, you think maybe, equations. You're pretty sure this is some kind of weird math.
That's math, I don't like it.
And a picture of a red, clear stone suspended on between 2 points with a helix in like drawn across it in platinum ink.
I'll hand that over to the gold dragon. This might be of some interest to you.
Huh.
Next page.
How to make a philosopher's stone.
Soulstone?
No, a philosopher's stone.
Also known as a soulstone.
Mm-hmm. Well, not in this world. In our world, yes, but not in their world.
Mhm.
Okay.
Man, because too close to home.
Next page. The interesting stuff falls out when I cast prestidigitation.
A recipe on a recipe for salmon quiche a la mode. Yes, with ice cream.
Nice. So I set the book on the floor and I go. I doubt we're going to be able to get the information that you wanted out of it. But I prestidigitation the whole thing as hard as I can. Which isn't much because I've had magic for a day. It's just, does that work?
Does the gold dragon even take
The
it?
cover starts burning off.
I'm very interested to see what
A
happens.
pearlescent pink cover. And underneath it says, and underneath of it, in very pretty silver, almost looks like it was woven with rope script, it says, Aspen's Recipes for Everything.
Very nice.
You found it in the everything section.
Yes.
I pick up the book. Does it just kind of let more shit fall out of it?
No, it looks like everything glued itself in that hadn't already fallen out.
Oh, hey! I figured out the answer! I did something good! Look!
Take the book and scroll through it towards the back part of it we initially started. We could read from. Do I find anything else that matches or leads up that explains what we read?
Apparently,
Give more clarity.
apparently there are actually at present, there you find very close to where the Tiamat statement is and then information on the grid. You find a piece of information on, yep, follow the human. Of all things, this individual looks at you and goes, well, actually, this particular, you find what Tiamat wanted. In the very back, right before the information on how to create a grid, there is a piece of, there's an equation and a set of spells for how to transfer one's consciousness into another vessel without having to kill anyone. So how to make a phylactery without murder.
Nice.
Because that was Aspen's big thing. She was a necromancer who didn't want to kill anybody unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So in honor of that,
I want to send me more brown.
What's the gold dragon doing?
kind of looking at this, I've tried everything for years. I really just had to cast prestidigitation on the book. I tried Decipher Script. I tried Greater Restoration. I tried Lesser Restoration. I tried Potions of Restoration. I tried an Unlimited Wish once.
You got me beat. The bird fixed it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
You never actually met Aspen, did you?
Nope, he didn't.
I'm talking to the dragon.
Well, no, the cataclysm had happened by the time I hatched.
I'm having
No.
brownie. No.
She thinks she needs chocolate. Alright, so, Ronan, hearing this, what are you doing during all this?
So they figured out.
They figured out how to unlock Aspen's diary, which is literally her recipes for everything.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there watching them as they're figuring all this out, trying to figure out my own ways.
Like,
That if they couldn't have gotten it, I was trying to figure out if I could have, but it seems like they got it.
what about the book in front of you?
And yeah, and then I present the book that's in front of me to them, and we can all look over.
Yeah. The book that Ronan managed to find where he was actually comes up with a good idea of where you were on the plane of ice.
okay.
It definitely defines the basis for this type of dragon. Though normally they were described as being much, much smaller. This seems to be a historical text that is predating the cataclysm by millennia. The pages aren't exactly paper. They're very thin laminate metal. Like, you know how...
They're punched, basically? Or it's engraved?
Yeah, they're micro engraved, yes. They were engraved and then had like black smeared across the engraving to let the ink set into the grooves.
So it's almost like a negative.
Almost. Only quite legible. Very ornate. But it shows that some of these creatures could have been maybe as long as a house. You're very certain that the thing that you all were dealing with was as long as like 3 or 4 castles.
That could just come with age, right? Because those just don't stop growing as long as they get older.
I hold up the page and I go, this, but huge.
How do we get there?
Looking at our gold dragon.
Portal through the portal to the plane of ice, it gets you there.
But that just gets us to the plane, to the end we need to be.
Well,
How do we more accurately do that?
let me see that other book, the notebook.
I think I might have broken the one page that you made.
Which page?
There was one that said something about a portal, but I think it broke.
How did it break?
I don't know. I cast the presentation and it went poof. Everything went poof.
That one crumbled, you said. Or it's crumbly.
It was crumbly around the edges, but no. Let me see the last. Oh, you crumbled the picture, so we won't have a visual example to run off of. But the instructions are there.
Oh, good.
Let's see here. Oh, some of this we can have made. No, you all do know have it in with some town nearby, don't you?
Oh, what?
I haven't been into the city in quite some time. You do have someone in there you could talk. There, you do have people at Kastar you could speak with, correct?
We just came from there. Yes.
Well, we could buy some of the things we need to make the portal, but some of these components won't be easily acquired.
Do you realize how long it took us to get from there? Yeah, okay. I'm
Oh,
already-
how long did it take you?
4 days.
Oh, you poor dears. I can get you there much faster.
4 days in an electrocution.
Among other things.
Well,
Near
did you
death
see
twice.
my cart along the road to know it was safe?
No.
That's missing. FYI, he got knocked over and probably buried in the sand.
No. I thought it was a zappy for flying things, and I tried to walk. Apparently, I walked in the wrong place. Survived that, got dragged by a bunch of fucking dumbass horses. You met them out front. And survived that to go to sleep that night and wake up like nothing had happened.
Well, at least you made it to the resting area. She did used to, from what I understand, she loved sitting out there and watching things pop.
Huh?
Bet.
I popped, I fizzled, and I got back up. I was even yanked around and dragged behind a cart first and got back up.
I see.
Sorry about that.
I see. Well, so the good news is that I can definitely make this.
Fantastic.
The bad news is you're going to have to go find some things for me.
Okay.
Hope somebody's got a writing implement.
Let's see, pick a peek. Honestly, my notebook is starting to look like one of Aspen's.
Alright.
I'm going to need. Well, I'll order the parts that we need from Kistara. There are some other things that are a little bit more expensive. We need a sapphire lens, roughly 3 feet in diameter. So, big lens. That won't be easy to come by. I suppose you could go mine the rock yourselves, but
Kind of rock.
a sapphire and
No.
then have it cut into a lens 3 feet across. It'd be easier to find a lens. Oh, there's a couple other things that would have a blue lens that big that would focus properly. But I don't see you ripping the cornea off of an elder blue dragon.
No.
The echo of Kalora's rage flashes in her eyes, thinking about that blue dragon.
No, not ice, blue. You know, spits bolts of lightning, eyes turn blue and brought blue over it with time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Put a lightning bolt through the eye of a needle at 300 yards. No.
Had my fill of chromatics.
There's some other things that could probably be done. I mean, I suppose you could. Well, you could do that to get it, but that would be a bit of a trip. Well, there's this beholder. And he collects everything. Being a collector of everything, he will be, what would be a good word for it?
He's a hoarder.
No, he likes parting with it for a price. He may ask you a favor or something.
No.
We owe too many favors as it is.
I only have one at the moment.
Oh, he would pay you with it for your favor in full. You do, he pays.
Okay. Possibility.
I think this ingredient here she just wanted because she wanted it, and it had nothing to do with whether the portal would work or not. The cauldron of everything. It's on the ingredient list, but I don't think it's actually necessary for the spell. Just saying. We are going to need several tons of copper and gold. 2 tons of gold, about 10 tons of copper for framework and things of that nature. Oh, and several decent blacksmiths.
How many?
4 should suffice.
Master? We're talking about master blacksmith.
They just need to be able to swing a hammer and keep their mouths shut as to who pays them.
The smart ones.
Yes, they don't have to be the best in their building. They just have to have more brains than the average hammer swinger.
Moderate intelligence. I'm gonna put that in.
And oh well, this is interesting. Why would she use that as a cap? Oh, good to know. You'll also need about a pound of hag's hair. To be exact, it says, night hag's hair. I don't think there's a pound of hair on one of their heads. Entire. Saw one once. They're rather bald. That could be quite rough.
We could probably get a potion of like Rogaine.
Potion? What's a Rogaine?
It's a hair growing technique for older men.
Oh, you are dragonborn. Your scales will grow fine without it. Alright. So, I can get you where you need to be. We can even get you there when you need to be so that there's not as much of a problem.
How do we get back here though? Without taking
When we need to be back here.
not taking the long way around.
Get back here when you get the parts that you need or as you acquire the bits that you need for each. Hold on. I should be able to find the things that I need in order to help you with getting back here. There has to be a few scrolls of teleportation circle that are keyed to this place somewhere.
Just go to Hearthstone like in Diablo. Back.
You watch them go over to a pile of scrolls that are obviously enchanted because they do not deteriorate. You hear, create greater undead, expeditious retreat, teleportation circle. Chucks that one and it bounces off of you, Kalora. Teleportation circle, just throws the next one. Grease.
Yeet.
Cloud of Blades. Teleportation circle. Dimension door.
Oh, I got that one.
Alright, got one for Ronan. There's a teleportation circle for Ronan, one for Torin, and one for us.
Limited wish.
Grab that one.
As your hand wraps around it, you hear, versus letting it go clattering to the ground, you hear, be careful. You'll lose 10 years if you use it.
What was it?
Limited wish.
Oh.
You'll lose 10 years if you use it.
I lived for a very long time.
How old are you? Or what kind of character?
Dragonborn?
Actually, they live about the same age as the average human. They have a 200-year max.
Ooh, take 10 years off 200. Ooh, longer than I wanted to be alive.
Ouch.
Dude, like after like 100 years, you'd be like, film movies where you're like, I'm too hard and still go to the gym. I'm like, no, you're like drooling in like tubes everywhere for everything.
Ah, but magic is real, so no.
Do I agree with that shit then?
Yeah, basically.
I'm getting a picture.
Brownie cookies are making me hungry.
Ah, what time is it?
It is like 7:30.
Alright, well.
So, I feel like the easiest things would be get. How would teleport us to the beholder first? Go there first.
The bill. She looks here. Oh, I can't send you to him.
Can you get us clothes?
I can get you to Gastara. From there, you'll have to find your way to the black market. While at the black market, ask around for for Mr. X. Mr. X is who you're looking for, to be clear. And people, if you ask around, they're careful about it. Do be careful because he's not liked by everyone for, well, obvious reasons. When you have that many eye stalks, people tend to judge. Oh, and do be careful in your dealings with him. Make sure to follow the exact letter of his contracts. If he has any way to loophole you out of it, he will. You know, the seedy types. Just because I follow the rules doesn't mean they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get you back to town. You should be able to hire the personnel you need. Your horses and donkeys, cart should be safe here. Curious. Are you nobles?
No.
Well, while you were looking around, I took the liberty of looking at your horses, and several of them were carrying noble house crests.
Well, as I have no intention of lying to you, well, on our way here, we encountered some elopees. Lovely.
Oh, how delightful. I love it when the young ones rebel for love.
And while we were helping them with their guard, the king's guard that was chasing them caught up with us.
I see.
They caused offense and got what they deserved.
A fight was initiated with some offense on both sides, if we're being honest.
Well, I prefer it.
And we won reasonably well. I mean, it didn't come without being in pain for a minute, but we won.
Alright, and what of the young couple?
Well, they seemed to do quite well until the young gentleman lost his hat and ran off into the sand again. And she went chasing him.
Purple worm got him.
Oh.
But they went together.
See? Still a beautiful ending. At least they died in their love. And this dragon, all of a sudden you're saying, wow, you really are a shut-in.
I prefer all of my dealings to be as honest as possible, but not all of the world allows that.
Well, here in my tower, and I suppose it is mine at this point, I doubt very seriously that the lady of the house can get in just yet.
I don't know if she remembers how.
Maybe. But
She didn't know where it was last we saw each other.
I'll tell you what. I'll teleport you to the underbellies. The dreg rooms, down where the cisterns and everything are in Castara. There's a teleportation nodule there. You'll have 5 or 6 circles of teleportation that you'll be able to cast. Anything beyond that, you're on your own. And these will be keyed directly to this spot. And as they point down, they tap their foot on the ground. And you notice that there's actually a teleportation circle, like the full seal, everything that you would need, right there.
Okay.
So whatever you send through, those circles will end up right here. Now, that being said, once you leave, right here will look like this. And they step back, and you watch as the floors morph. The walls start growing down spires covered in barb to create bars. Demonic eyes start glowing before them, and the entirety of the background beyond the bars looks like a fresh hellscape straight from Jason Does Freddy in the backside.
Welcome to the underbelly.
They look at you. This is what it'll look like.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is what they'll be showing up into. When they identify themselves, they'll see this. And as their fingers snap, the illusion drops, and you're back to the library you were in.
Mm-hmm.
Teleportation circle never activated. But that being the case, and certain time constraints that were brought to my attention before game tonight, I'm going to call there a good place to stop for the evening.
Perfect.
Because Clemens has to go do some stuff for work this evening.
Yeah, the joys of being the boss.
But as always, thank you for joining us. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We're not complete jerks. And in true Pudgy fashion, love, peace, and chicken grease.
Bye.